Gentlemen, welcome to the Forge. In front of your anvils, you guys have a sealed mission brief. Go ahead and open those up for me. We are calling this Mission 0. It's a brute to forge challenge. In round 1 of the competition, I want you guys to build me knives made out of this scrap metal here. No cutting tools, no grinders, no hot cutting. Your blade needs to be between 12 and 14 inches and have a full tang. Your time starts now.
My name is Josh Wentz, 31 years old. I like to consider myself a full-time dad, part-time knife maker. There's a lot more time with my son than there is in my shop. I'm definitely not complaining. He's a ball of joy, and I'm happy every day that I get to be with him.
It looks like Josh is not cutting anything off that round stock.
I weld my stick to my steel, and then muscle memory kicks in. I throw it right into the forge.
He's probably got almost 2 pounds of metal there.
It dawns on me that I forgot to cut any excess material off. Normally, I would step over the grinder, start getting that edge thickness down to where I want it, but instead, I'm sitting here planishing my steel.
I'm just trying to get all the rough hammer marks out of it right now.
I'm ready to finally quench this knife.
Josh is quenched.
It's nice and hard, it's straight, it's still heavy, but I couldn't have asked for anything more.
My name is Menno, M-E-N-N-O, not like the fish. I sit on the phone the whole day saying, thank you for calling Uniwald, this is Menno. Like a fish? No, fish don't talk, man. When I saw the show for the first time, I didn't know nothing about knife making. So I made a forge. I made a little sword out of a nail, cut myself with it, and I was intrigued. As I'm looking at the table, I can see a piece of steel, and I think it's W4, and that is great metal. But right now, I'm going from big glue to the press, back to measuring, big glue, press. I'm super happy with my blade. It's the right size, it's the right width, it's the right weight. I think they're gonna love it, and it will cut. Now that I'm getting ready for the quench, I make sure that my temperatures are good. That's hard. I'm so happy. I will be surprised if I don't go through the next round, because it's a beautiful blade.
My name is Brad Diddy. I'm 23 years old. Growing up, I always wanted to have a forge, but my dad would look at me and go, I don't trust you with it. To be a Forge and Fire champion would make everyone at home proud, and that would just put a huge smile on my face. So I'm staring at the table, and I'm feeling a little bit of angst in my gut. Which one is going to be the best steel for me to use? And immediately I'm thinking it's the leaf spring. I'm doing my very best to create a perfect and symmetrical edge down the center, and also keep the spine nice and thick. It looks pretty darn good. Now that my blade fits the parameters and has a nice shape to it, I'm getting ready to quench. And it's not hard. At this moment, I am really kind of let down, but it's not time to give up.
Brad's back in the forge after he quenched.
Requenching might affect my blade in the testing, but it's up to God, not me. I run the file across it, and it skates. Thank you, Jesus.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Put down your tools. This round is over. Congratulations, you guys are moving into round 2. In front of you, you've got ammo cans. You'll also see a bunch of spent ammo casings. I want you guys to integrate those into the construction of your handles in some way, shape, or form. Your time starts now.
I've got to adjust my handle so the judges feel more secure holding that knife in their hands. I'm not worried about my handle material being perfect. I just need to get the holes in there.
So the holes, I'm just going to use 5.56 rounds as a pin stock.
They're long enough to fit through my handle, and I know they're long enough to grab onto the handle material. So I'm feeling pretty good. I'm doing my rough shaping of my handle material. Okay. I've watched this competition enough times to see people go home for uncomfortable handles. It's something that you need to be thinking about.
All right. I wanted to make the nicest handles out of the pantry, not with these things. I immediately see the 22 shells, and I hope that's gonna be the same size as my holes. Perfect. The bullet shells that I'm using do 3 pin stocks in it with glue. So that is then the pin stock. It's more like a Corby bolt. Then I can go immediately to the grinder. It's all fitted. It could not have been better. I'm done with the handle and try to make it as sharp as possible.
I have to include a bullet round casing into my handle. As I'm staring at my table, I notice that there is a short 22 shell and a long one. If these can go together, maybe I can pinch the one end, I can turn this into a tube instead of a shell and use it as a pin.
Ah, yes.
And they fit perfectly. I couldn't ask for anything better.
All right, try this one.
I'm looking, I see acrylic, which I've used, but however I know is very brittle, so you gotta be very careful with it. the super glue won't open.
Oh, the top's coming off. That's not good. Oh, way too much, way too much.
And everywhere. It's on my hands, it's on the painter's tape. Ah, my pieces are glued together. I am extremely nervous. What if I can't get these apart? It's acrylic, so I have to be very, very careful. Thank God it pops apart.
Try that one more time. Yippee.
Now that my handle's all clamped up, I figure it's good enough time for me to go over to the grinder. My edge is just about to the point where I want it to be. I start shaping my handle. If I were to win the $10,000, I give $2,000 to the church right away, but the other $5,000 or $8,000, whatever how it goes, shakes out in the end, I'd probably just put it in the bank. I'm really not good at math, I told you that.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Place your weapons down, turn off your machines. This round is over.
All right, gentlemen, I think you know what time it is. It's time for the strength test. Now, to test the strength and overall construction of your blades, I will be swinging into these ammo cans. Josh, you're up first. You ready?
Let's do it.
All right, Josh. When I grab your handle right off, it's comfortable. Your use of the shells for the holes is great. It would have been nice to file the insides of them off. The weight of your knife, it's good. It feels pretty right. On your edge, you've got a couple spots up the tip that are more chips than rolls. And then down here, you've got rolls. But good job.
Thank you.
All right, Menno, you're up. You ready?
Cut it in half.
All right, so Menno, I'm not a huge fan of finger grooves, but this is sized beautifully for my hand. As far as the blade goes, we have chips here as opposed to a roll where it's too soft. It's just brittle. It leaves some question about the heat treat. You can see the grains are really big. I mean, it looks like more of a sand than that velvet you want to see. But all in all, good job.
Thank you.
All right, Brad, you're up. You ready?
I'm glad I wore my brown pants.
All right, Brad, first off, as far as your handle goes, pretty much right where I want it. Having that palm swell there, it sits in, it fits my hand really nicely. On the blade, you've got primarily rolls here. There's a couple of chips, but good feel. Well done, good done.
Thank you very much, I appreciate it.
This is the Sharpness Test, the military bed slice. To find out how sharp your edges are, I will take your knife and do some slices on this canvas military bed. Josh, you're up first. You ready for this?
Let's do it.
All right, Josh, let's talk about your blade here. First up, when I grab onto your handle, there are no sharp edges at all. It's comfortable in my hand. Your edge, you have a really rolled spot over here that took some material with it, but the rest of the blade is very sharp. It will cut.
Thank you.
Menno, your turn, so you ready?
Yeah.
Right, Ben, let's talk about your blade here. First up, it's a forward heavy blade, but the construction that you have for the handle actually locks it in. So I have a very good grip on this. Now let's talk about your edge. The areas where these chips actually hit the canvas, it ripped rather than cut. But the edges that did make contact, that are sharp, cut easily. Overall, sir, it'll cut.
Thank you.
All right, Brad, your turn. You ready, sir?
Not as ready as you.
Let's do this. All right, Brad, let's talk about your blade here. First up, it's light, but it's strong, and it's easy to wield. Your edge here had some rolling earlier in the strength test, but the movement of this blade allows me to move it to where I can get the cuts in. Overall, sir, it will cut.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, we gave you a very hard task in Mission 0, but you all proved your worth in the forge. Unfortunately, one of you will not be going forward into round 3 of the competition. And that bladesmith is Menno. Ben Abbott will tell you why.
Well, Menno, your blade took significant chipping in the strength test, exposing large, brittle grains. Those big chips also affected its ability in the cutting test, and it's for those reasons that we're letting you go.
Okay, fair.
Menno, I want to say thank you for all your hard work, but at this time, I'm going to have to ask you to leave the forge floor.
Thank you so much. I did not expect that my blade would crack or that it was that brittle. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna go sit in the bathtub with the knife, kiss the puppies, hug the wife. I'll keep on forging. That's not the end of the world. I loved doing this.